Yes, good morning, everyone. It's Lori. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to look at the proof that our government has known for decades, the harmful effects of 5G, deadly effects, and have kept it from us. So we're going to start off with this document that is unclassified from the Naval Medical Research Institute. The abstract of this document is more than 2,000 references on the biological responses to radio frequency and microwave radiation, published up to June 1971. This document was written in 1972. Okay, so let's do a little bit of quick background of Naval Medical Research Institute. The Naval Medical Research Institute, or Center, it was NMRC at first, is an agency that performs basic and applied biomedical research to meet the needs of the United States Navy, Marine Corps. Its areas of focus include study of infectious diseases, biodefense, military medicine, battlefield medicine, and bone marrow research. It was founded in 1942. Its headquarters are in Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland, but it has a base in San Diego, Ohio, and in Texas. So that's a little bit of the background of this research center. Back to the document, which I will put up at Freedom Docs, because this needs to be sent to all of your local people, all of your local senators, just like we sent off for the vaccine. Fire off these letters with these documents to your mayor, senator, governor, representatives, whoever. Send it to your local newspaper. This is by Zorak Glazer, PhD. Tons of letters after his name. October 4th, 1971. Get right to the meat of it here. I don't know if it was classified at first and then unclassified or declassified. I'm not sure about that. Who in their right mind would feel the need to go in and find this stuff? Okay, so table of contents. Biological effects. A. Heating of organs, whole body, temperature regulation defects, hyperpyrexia, skin, bone marrow. 4. Lens of eye. Cataract lesions due to the avascular nature of the lens, which prevents adequate heat dissipation. Corneal damage, also possible at extreme high frequencies. Genitalia, tubular degeneration of testicles. Brain, sinuses. Metal implants, this is an old document, so sometimes it's messed up. Metal implants, burns near hip pins. So if you have anything metal in your body, watch out. Striated muscle contraction, alteration of diameter in blood vessels, increased vascular elasticity, dilation. Changes in physiologic function, liver enlargement, altered sensitivity to drug stimuli, decreased fertility to sterility, altered sex ratio of births, more girls. And he puts an exclamation point, which is kind of an interesting little side note there. Altered menstrual activity, altered fetal development, decreased lactation in nursing mothers, reduction in urine output, altered renal function, changes in conditioned reflexes, decreased electrical resistance of skin, changes in the structure of skin receptors, blood carrying systems, altered blood flow rate, alterations in sensitivity to light, sound, and olfactory stimuli, functional and pathological changes in the eyes, decrease in size of blind spot, altered color recognition, lacrimation, trembling of eyelids, hemorrhage in the lungs, liver, gut, and brain, generalized degeneration of all body tissue at fatal levels of radiation, loss of anatomical parts, death, dehydration, central nervous system effects, headaches, insomnia, restlessness, awake and during sleep, seizures, convulsions, psychological disorders, neurasthenia, general bad feeling, depression, impotence, anxiety, lack of concentration, hypochondria, dizziness, hallucinations, sleeplessness, sleepiness, insomnia, increased irritability, decreased appetite, loss of memory, scalp sensations, increased fatigability, chest pain, tremor of the hands, or shortened lifespan, blood glucose concentration increase. That's why so many people are getting diabetes, including me. Blood histamine content, cholesterol and lipids, high blood pressure, vascular disorders, thrombosis, hypertension, enzyme and biochemical change. I'll just leave this here and you can look over all the disorders, but it's incredible. This is definitely the slow frog boiling syndrome. Genetic and chromosomal changes, mutations, Mongolism, somatic alterations, tumors, miscellaneous effects, sparking between dental fillings, peculiar metallic taste in your mouth, loss of hair, brittleness of hair, sensations of buzzing, vibrations, pulsations, tinnitus probably. Everybody's complaining about tinnitus, tickling about the head and ears. The bibliography has over 2,300 citations here. So as you can see, this is pretty thorough. And the military runs everything. So they're always 100 years ahead of us, if not more. So this is the smoking gun proof. They know that this is dangerous to us. All right, so what can we do? So just as a side note here, I discovered this website, State of the Nation, through a viewer of mine, Nick, thank you. She sent me an article about Erin the nurse and how they did a deep story about Erin the nurse. And apparently she is it's kind of a shady thing here that she's president of the Florida Freedom Alliance. And this State of the Nation website is saying that she might be COINTELPRO for anti-vax because she's got her hands in everything. But if you go to the website, here she's called Erin Runk. They got the orange, the House of Orange, Masonic. And this website is like an empty shell, basically. And on YouTube, she's got the one eye symbolism again. She's got no content. So if she's president of this corporation, why is she, she's got the sexy honeypot look going on there, as do all these other women, off the shoulder black straps. Bring the men in. So that's just an aside, and I'll leave the link for this too. But I discovered this website, State of the Nation, which I really like. It's got a lot of really, really good information on here. So now continuing with the 5G. This is the sample letter, and I'll put this up at Freedom Docs too. You can download this. You can change it. This is in Word format. You can delete it if you want. I think it's best to keep it one page when you send it to your representative. But there's a lot of information in here. And, you never know. You might want to send the whole thing. I might send the whole thing. But here's a sample letter of what you might want to say to your congressman or your mayor. Here is the official court document. $1 trillion class action suit of all these corporations against the Federal Communications Commission of the United States of America. So this has already been filed. It was filed a little more than a year ago, and it is basically it's about implementing, fast tracking the 5G stuff. From what I can understand, I hope our community attorneys are watching, and please take a gander at this and get back to me about it, because it's something about the September and the August order. It's basically focusing on the August and September orders to implement, I think, the infrastructure for 5G within 60 days. That's my understanding. And so the companies are fighting back and saying, we can't do this. I don't know, this is not addressing the 5G dangers. This is addressing putting it in so fast without local authorities doing proper due diligence. At least that's my understanding. Prudential considerations. The grant of an abeyance depends on prudential considerations. And they're saying that the Federal Communications Commission allows itself to take as long as it wants to review things after orders are put out. So they're saying, you have to fast track your review for us to implement this. I think that's what it's saying. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it's saying. But I'd have to get a lawyer to look at it to really be sure. All of you legal people out there, please read it and let us know. I just format the documents. I'm not a lawyer.
I believe that Americans deserve to know what the health effects are, not to prejudge what scientific studies may show, and they deserve also a commitment to do the research on outstanding questions. So my question for you, particularly Mr. Gillen and Mr. Perry, how much money has the industry committed to supporting additional independent research? I stress independent research. Is that independent research ongoing? Has any been completed? Where can consumers look for it? And we're talking about research on the biological effects of this new technology.
Thank you, Senator. I think, thank you for your focus on the issue. Safety is paramount, and as you alluded to, we rely on the expert agencies, we rely on the findings of the FDA and others as to the requirements to keep all of us safe. There are no industry-backed studies, to my knowledge right now. Happy to visit with you as to what opportunities you think there needs to be more studies, and we're always for more science. We also rely on what the scientists tell us.
So essentially, the answer to my question, how much money? Zero.
I can certainly follow up with you, Senator. To my knowledge, there's no active studies being backed by industry today.
Anybody else know of industry commitments to back research, fund it, support it, to ascertain scientifically the health effect?
Senator, I'm not aware either, but I do know that with small cells especially, you're going to have lower power levels. And of course, as from a carrier perspective, you want to be able to manage interference so that that interference is the lowest interference possible. So I would think that some of those studies or some of that information could be utilized in looking at the health consequences. But no, I'm not aware of any.
So there really is no research ongoing. We're kind of flying blind here, so far as health and safety is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
So, as much as I appreciate his bringing this up in a Senate hearing, I don't know whether he's covering up or whether he's just clueless. We never know, because nobody's going to admit in public that they had this information and didn't apply it. I have a feeling that he might just be clueless. I think these people in Senate, in these positions, are sometimes often clueless about everything. So my suggestion to all these senators and representatives is they need researchers. In my area, all the infrastructure work is being done, and they put on these yellow guy markers, they're called, to signify where they've done the work and what wires will be changed, probably. But there's been so much upheaval in traffic and, redirecting traffic and detours and big cement posts put in and new sidewalks with big tubes underneath. And so, they're setting it up. So we have to let our representatives know, even though they're order followers, make your voice known. Just make your voice known. Who knows? Maybe the vaccine won't go through because we're all thinking, I do not consent, sending letters, voicing our discontent with this, voicing our absolute refusal of this. Maybe it's working. Maybe in the ether it's working. All these old esoteric books talk about the karma, these people, there's ways that it goes back on them. Their conscience, their health. When you do evil, it comes back to you and it kicks you in the ass, basically. So let's put it out there that, whatever harm they intend for us goes back to them. Whatever harm they're trying to do to us will go back on them. This is a thought war. This is how it works. Their thoughts will not win. We're a small minority, but I think we're powerful, and we can put our thoughts out there and have an effect. Okay, everybody, I'll put the Navy document, the letter, and the links all in the description box, and I'll put them up at freedomdocs@archive.org. I may not get to that today, but I'll put them definitely all in the description box, and you can download them and send them to your representatives and post them. I'm going to send it to the local newspaper. I might even send it to the Washington Times or something. I don't know. Whatever you can think of, let's do a campaign. Get the information out there in the ether. Thanks everybody for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.